Hey everybody, my name's Byron. I'm an instructor at the Crescent School of Gaming and Bartending in Las Vegas, and today we're going to be covering the topic of how to spin the ball in roulette. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to refine your technique as you've been dealing this game already, this is probably the right spot for you. You should be able to gain some useful information here. When it comes to spinning the ball in roulette, there are two main techniques. There is the snap and there is the flick technique. Both techniques are effective. However, we want to make sure that in either technique that we use, we don't bend our wrist while we're spinning the ball. Of the techniques that we're going to teach in this video, we're going to start with the snap technique, which is also considered the most professional version of how to spin the ball. When it comes to the snap, you're going to hold the ball between your middle finger and your thumb. Instead of holding the ball right in the center of your fingers, you're actually going to offset the ball a little bit. So if you try to squeeze your fingers, the ball will pop out. Now the goal here is you're going to squeeze the ball between those fingers, and you're going to force that ball to ride in the track, and you're going to let it slip past the side of your thumb, and therefore it'll start to spin around the wheel. If you're not building pressure between your fingers, then you're not going to have a lot of force for that ball to spin. So make sure you squeeze hard and then let it go past your thumb. Next, we're going to move on to the flick technique. When it comes to the flick technique, you're going to hold the ball in a similar fashion to the snap technique, except you're actually going to hold the ball in the center of your fingers, not offset like the snap one. When you place the ball in the track, you're going to extend your middle finger past the ball a little bit and have the pad of your middle finger actually contact the track of the wheel itself. This is where you're going to build up your pressure. The thumb is only there to keep the ball from falling into the pocket. You're going to apply pressure on your middle finger, on the pad of your middle finger, on the wood of the wheel, and then right before you're ready to release that pressure, you're going to move your thumb out of the way, and then your middle finger will snap that ball across the wheel. It's a little bit different than the snap technique where your middle finger is literally flicking it. I'll actually show you guys a slow motion of it. Now this next version of how to spin the ball is not very common, although I have come across a few people that this is just how they do it, so I thought I'd include it in this video. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the ball and you're going to place it on top of your pointer finger, but put your middle finger on top of the ball from that position. Trust me, if you guys already deal this game, I know it's weird. I'm telling you, people do it. This is just an option for you if the other two don't work for you. What you're going to do is you're going to do similar to the flick version. You're going to then place your finger in the track, making sure that the pad of your middle finger is dragging on the wood in the track of the wheel. You're then going to apply some pressure, and with a quick release of your middle finger, you're going to flick that ball across the wheel. Now when the time comes for us to spin the ball, there's a certain amount of time that we have from grabbing the ball to spinning it. This amount of time is relatively standardized to make sure that we're not trying to cheat the players and we're not trying to time the wheel in a way that we can make everyone lose. So we refer to this as the pick and flick. Now when it's time to spin, we're going to grab the ball on the left side of the wheel, assuming that you guys are dealing a right-handed wheel. You're going to grab it on the left side of the wheel and you're going to move it to the track on the right side of the wheel. From there, the number that the ball was previously in is going to continue to rotate as the wheel will continuously move. We want the ball to be gone from our hand by the time the previous winning number reaches our hand. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. All right, so the best way to describe this part is to kind of show you from my perspective. So let's say that the previous winning number was 0, right? So usually we'll pick up the ball right about here, and the 0, or the previous winning number, will continue to spin, and while it's spinning, our hand would go over in this position, and we need to release this ball before that number reaches our hand. So let me show you. I'll start with it a little bit slow. So the ball needs to be gone before the number reaches my hand. So I'm going to do this a little bit slow. So that's fine. If I were to do this a little bit too late, so this time it's going to be in 00, I'm going to allow it to pass my hand and then I'll spin. So follow 00 and it's past the hand and then I spin. That's considered too late. Now before we get into the next part of this lesson, we want to first understand a little bit of how the game is dealt so we can understand this next part. Usually what's going to happen is the players are going to place their bets. Then when the betting is starting to slow down, we're going to go and spin the ball. Once we spin the ball, we're going to wave off, no more bets, when there's about 2 to 3 revolutions remaining on the ball. We're going to step back, and then from here we're going to wait for that ball to land into a pocket. At this point is where we're going to run into our next case. This is known as a floater. A floater is when the ball doesn't want to actually drop in the pocket due to centrifugal force. It's going to actually just float on the wheelhead or over the numbers and won't actually land into a pocket. We have to know what causes this, we have to know how to prevent it, and we have to know what happens if it occurs. So that's what we're going to talk about here. Now, when it comes to floaters, we have to know how to prevent them. In order to know how to prevent them, we have to understand the cause. The cause of floaters is usually that the wheel is spinning too quickly. How do we know if the wheel is spinning too fast? Look at how blurry the numbers are. If the numbers are blurry, there's a good chance you could get a floater. If the numbers are not blurry, then there's a very good chance you can't have one. So try to keep the numbers where someone with bad vision would have an easy time reading them. That's usually a good idea as far as the speed you want to follow. Now, when it comes to the procedure of how to handle a floater, it really depends on the casino that you're at. But there are two main ways. I'm going to show you the most common option, and I'll show you guys a different version that some casinos might have you do. So first thing, we would have said no more bets, waved it off, and stepped back.
No more bets.
Then we saw a floater. We will allow that floater to go around the wheel 3 full revolutions.
No spin.
If it does not fall into a pocket within those 3 revolutions, we will announce no spin as an alert call. Betting is back open, players can do whatever they want, and then we're going to follow these 3 steps, or these next steps. We're going to grab the ball, slow down the wheel, spin again. And that resets that hand. We say no more bets, we step back, we just reset the whole thing all over again. Now, some casinos will have a slightly different way of handling this. The next option that a casino might have you do, same thing, let it complete 3 full revolutions. If it does not fall into a pocket within those 3 revolutions, we will announce no spin as an alert call. You will grab the ball, slow down the wheel, and then the difference here is that they might have you put the ball in the previous winning number, let it complete 1 full revolution, pick up the ball, and spin again. And then that would reset the hand. The reason some casinos might have you do that version is because in the first version I explained, I just slowed down the wheel and spun at some random section on the wheel. But I'm supposed to follow the pick and flick procedure, so that way every spin starts under similar conditions. That's the reason why some casinos might have you put it in the previous number, let it complete 1 revolution, and then do your pick and flick from there, so that way everything starts the same way. All right, you guys, that's everything you need to know around spinning the ball in roulette. You might encounter a floater, and now you have different techniques to try and see which one works best for you. Now, what I want to say here is we do have right wheel and left wheel. When it comes to these wheels, we will be spinning the ball with different hands. So make sure you practice spinning with both hands. Maybe you snap with one hand and you flick with the other, that's totally fine. Just find one that works best for you in both situations. You don't want to be known as the roulette dealer that can only deal half of the game. If you happen to find any value in this video, if you could take a second to like the video or at least subscribe to the channel, that would be a great help. If you guys are interested in furthering your education in dealing this game, go ahead and take a look at the next video in the playlist right over here. And I also want to say a big shout out to the Crescent School of Gaming and Bartending for allowing us to use their location, use their equipment, and film on the premises. It's been a massive help. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are interested in having a place where you can learn how to deal, you might, if approved, get all of this for free. So something to consider. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Go ahead and click the link, and I'll see you in there.